Some of you watching right now carry hidden reptilian genetics. And because of that, your life should be 50 times better than it is. See, inside your DNA lies a secret, one the royal bloodlines and the Numerati have guarded for centuries. They buried your true history. They made you forget what you are. And I'll say it again, some of you are reptilian. Now, they told you that it was a myth. I'll say that they lied. I mean, they just straight up lied. And I want you to stay with me because within this next hour, one thing I say will change how you see everything. And here's where it gets interesting. You've been taught that consciousness is the whole of the psychological individual. Well, what if it's only the surface? What if beneath the calm waters of your awareness, there's a dark mirror? The psychological part of this came from Carl Jung, who wrote that whoever looks into the mirror of the water will see first of all his own face. But he warned that what comes after is a boundless expanse, a world of shadow where there is no above, no below, no good, no bad. This is an invitation to step through that mirror, to walk through what Jung called the tight passage, the narrow door of the shadow. But this is not your personal shadow. Ancient Gnostic texts buried for centuries warned of another, a cosmic shadow. They call them archons, hidden rulers, psycho-spiritual parasites who access human consciousness through telepathy and simulation. They are, the Gnostics claim, an alien force that intrudes suddenly upon the human mind and deviates our intelligence away from its proper and sane application. These ancient seers asserted that our most sacred beliefs, our system of authority, even our idea of God, could be an alien implant, a program designed to keep us from our true potential. And so tonight, we enter that shadow. We will decode the symbols, confront the archetypes, and ask the forbidden question. Is human history the story we've been told, or is it the echo of forgotten war for your mind? But before we get to that, I'd like to share with you a few things here. Once a lot of this started quite some time ago, I reached out to all of my friends. I'm here in Dallas, Texas, and I called everyone and I said, we're going to start what I call truth versus authority, knowledge beyond reality events. And of course, I started it with what you call those Dallas meetups. And I reached out, and just to kind of give you where we're going with this, starting every month for a whole year, every month for a whole year, I have my friends that are going to change people's lives in a very small setting. And within that year, there's going to be a lot of people that their lives going to change completely, starting with this. Right here, I have November the 20th in Dallas here, Brother Joseph. If you've seen him before at New Life Tools, he'll be up here in Dallas. Then I have Doc B is going to come down to Dallas right before Christmas, and we're going to give you some information. We're going to do a whole sound experience. And then, of course, my guy Billy is going to come down in January. He never been down here speaking in Dallas. He's going to be here in Dallas, so you want to check that out. And there's more, because I truly believe what you're going to hear tonight is so important that you understand why I call, and everybody is in agreement that there is something that needs to be done for what I'm going to talk to you about tonight. I even reached out, King Simon. He's going to be here in February on Valentine's Day, talking about numerology, but then tie it into those relationships. And if you know Erin Lyons, my girl, she'll be down here in March. Yes, in Dallas. And she's going to break the mold, get you in touch with source. And then Billy's going to come back again, because we need to make sure this is wrapped up the way it needs to be, and everything else. And if you want any information there, I will tell you right now to go and get your information so that you can be a part of what we're doing. And there it is right there, events tickets. You can get on Billy's waiting list and Aaron's waiting list, because once we put that out, we got a small room. And when those tickets go, they go. But if you want this personal life experience going into 2026, because they are doing something out there, I'm going to get into this, and you should feel it and you should know this. And also we have the greatness of Phire, who is our sponsor, who gets it. Yeah, she gets it. She understands that we have a few things that needs to be done. And, from protection, from your shadows, from everything else, salt bath to wash off those parasites. You want to go and get this stuff done. And I'm taking a different approach for you tonight. And so I assembled some of the greatest people, and there's more of them. I got 5 or 6 more the whole year, every single month. If you can make it, fine. If you got family members, send them so that they can get the message to get to you. And I tell you, this is probably the best investment that you will ever make, that month after month after month, you're going to get information. And when I called out, they all said, yes, I'll come down, every last one of them. We even got VIP dinner nights on Friday where just 10 people can sit down with them privately. Those are available as well. This is how we're rolling. I just wanted you to know. But again, Phire, there's link down here, is our one of our sponsors. Support her because she is the real deal. Phire Juju. You can get some Juju stuff. You got to get your Juju stuff. You really do. So let me get into our conversation tonight. I just wanted to give you a serious approach to where we are in doing this, okay? And as I said it before, some of you are reptilian. And I really mean that. The concept that alien serpents like creatures came to Earth thousands of years ago, created humanity, and continue to control us even now is a controversial one. Mainstream history consigns that the narrative to the realm of myth, a collection of primitive fears and fables explained away as a pre-scientific mind's attempt to make sense of a terrifying world. Many people believe that this is a myth. Others argue that it's true. And it's worth you thinking about, right? Because for me, I spent years accepting that official story. I looked at these artifacts in museums. I read the place cards and I accepted the consensus out there. And these were just the stories. But the more you look, the more the official story begins to fray at the edges. The patterns are too consistent. The myth, separated by oceans and millennia, tell the same story with unnerving precision. And you start to feel that you're not looking at thousands of disconnected stories, but thousands of eyewitnesses' accounts of a single global event. Just let that sink in for a minute. Now, to reevaluate this history requires a different kind of investigation, one that treats myth not as fiction, but as a distorted memory, a folk memory of war, a creation and invasion. And this investigation began 5,000 years ago before Christ. And it's time when, according to these records, something happened that will change the course of human history. And then hidden from us by misunderstanding and mistranslation, the birth of religion on this planet was no more mere incident. It was the result of an alien invasion on a vast scale, and it sparked the worship of ancient gods. So in a second, I'll reveal something most people overlooked. So don't go anywhere. And you want to stay here for the whole thing, because the evidence for this claim is not a single artifact, but it's a vast mosaic of interconnected anomalies, a collection of proof points that, when viewed in isolation, are easily to be dismissed. But when you see them all together, it forms a coherent and disturbing picture. And the first category of evidence is ancient artwork. I want you to look that up. Take notes tonight. And all across the planet, and our ancestors left behind images and caves and pottery carved in the stone. And in this global gallery, consistent figures kept appearing. Ancient artwork from around the world depicts snake-like creatures and strange beings with wings, which is believed to be a representation of the alien serpent-like creatures. I want you to take notes tonight. You see them everywhere, these hybrid beings, part reptile, part man. And sometimes they have wings, sometimes horns. And archaeologists call it a zoomorphism, a symbolic blending. But what if it's not symbolic? What if it's, something totally different? What if our ancestors wasn't carving what they imagined, but what they saw? You ever think about that? But give it some thought tonight. See, this artistic record is amplified by world mythologies. Various mythologies from cultures around the world describe figures resembling snake-like forms of alien origins. You can go all the way back to the Nagas of India, the sea crabs of Greece, and the Quetzalcoatl of the Aztecs. They often held as wise teachers and kings. And this led to the next category of evidence, the anomalous knowledge that we want to think about. Now, here's where things get just a little tricky. See, ancient civilizations such as the Sumerians, Egyptians, the Mayans had advanced knowledge of astronomy and mathematics that could not have been explained by primitive technology. They mapped out star constellations that required telescopes to be seen. They calculated the precision of equinoxes. They built structures aligned with celestial events with a precision that remains staggering today. And the question is not just what they knew, but how did they know it? Well, this anomalous knowledge is encoded in ancient monuments and mysterious artifacts. Structures like the Egyptian pyramids and Stonehenge have unexplained origins and purposes. Complex devices like I forget the mechanism is ANIT, y'all know my grammar box here, but anyway, inferior mechanisms discovered in shipwrecks off the coast of Greece challenge the entire timeline of human technological development. But the most profound evidence, the pattern that unites us all, is the origin, the gods themselves. Ancient cultures around the world had a belief that systems revolved around gods or supernatural beings from the sky, which could be interpreted as aliens. They were called the shiny ones. Some say the Watchers and the Anunnaki, and they all came from above. They did. And so let's take this a step further. If a secret of this magnitude exists, it will be not written in plain language. It will be encoded, woven into the very fabric of our words, our rituals, and our most sacred stories. And to an investigator, the most difficult code is to break, or not the ones that are complex, but the ones that are so simple, so fundamental, that they are mistaken for common knowledge. Now, this research that I'm talking about of this investigation states that the easiest, most clear way to realize that the serpent is hidden in our lives is to actually understand the language of the serpent itself. Okay? And we need to get to the roots. That's what we're going to do. Now, the linguistic trail that I want you to go down begins in the land of Canaan. Take notes, please take notes tonight. Where the word for the serpent was Ab, or E, thousands of miles away. In the Mayan language came, they had a serpent as Kukulkan, right? The feathered serpent god. And this had the same root appears again in ancient Sumerians as On, and remarkably in the Scottish Gaelic as Con. And from the root, we get the word Kini or Kani, meaning of knowing, like a snake. Now, the Roman god Phire, Vulcan, comes from the Babylonian Can for serpent and Vol for fire. This connection is not accidental. They didn't make a mistake doing this. But this is an important lesson here that we're going to get into. Fire. This is the first critical deviation from the biological creature that we know, because see, there is no real snakes on earth that are also fire. So the word must mean something quite different. A shiny entity, a being of light, the same kind of fairy or, luminous, a phenomenon describes in these countless UFOs and modern UFO sightings. Now, to give you some real quick history Let me just put this on the screen because I want you to know why I'm telling you. If you look up me, you can Google me. You will find that I've been in 11 different TV shows. I'm a certified UFO investigator. I was featured on the History Channel. I was in Billy's Black Knight Satellite, Roswell, New Mexico, on Fox Tubi. I've been on Coast to Coast Radio. I've been on Open Minds feature with Regina Merritt, Beyond Belief with George Norrie. I hosted a show called Alien Endgame. And the list goes on and on. So I'm not just making this up. Just let you know who's in front of you, that you have a good source here. I want you to know that. So that you know I stand where I am compared to many others. And once again, the language itself is telling us that our ancestors was not describing an animal. They were describing technology, a presence that came with fire from the sky. Now, once again, we would call this kind of a thread leads to most unlikely of places. And at the very center of the Christian world, the Vatican, comes from the words vatis, V-A-T-I-S, for prophet, and con, C-A-N, for serpent, making the Vatican literally a place of serpent prophecy. And please take the time, take the notes, Google Snake Hall. You can do that while we're talking right now. And you're going to be profound to know that the Vatican has Snake Hall. They have it. And they do. All right. So it's an uncomfortable thought, right? Sometimes it gets uncomfortable when you start thinking about it, right? But that's the bedrock of Western religion. And it could be named for the very creature it publicly reveals. Now, but the etymology is there too. See, if you wish to hide a secret, you can just hide it in plain sight. You can make it so large, so fundamental, or foundational, I would say, that no one would ever think to question it. They just wouldn't do it. So the first thing is giving you a little information here that I've been working on quite some time. And some of you have already got it. If you're watching, then you're going to know where we're going with this. This is what I call the reptilian rule. There is something going on there. They have been the rule. So we have a mission. We want to find out. But you know, one of the things that I discovered while we were looking for this reptilian rule, that there was also some good things there too. And so when I started putting things together, I was like, well, how are we going to decipher what is happening? Okay. And so I created, and you can look this up. Those of you have it, you know, you can turn to a page that I'm going to put in this 500-page guide. It is all based on Carl Jung's, and I call it archetypal intelligence, the reptilian intelligence, so that you can identify the reptilians in media, in celebrities, in individuals, people, the shadows of it themselves, and it's all here, okay? And when you do make that discovery, after you make that discovery, this is not something you just read once. You're going to turn to it based upon how someone is saying, treating, or whatever the conspiracy that you see on TV, because you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You've been knowing there are some things happening out there, and where you see these things here, you're going to be able to find it. So in essence this is where we see what I call the reptilian inversion, not just in our language, but in our very psychology. And this is what I call the program of the shadow sage. And I have the shadow sage here in here that I talk about. It's number 7. It's number 7. And I go into this so that you can understand some of the things about the shadow stage, so that you are recognizing what's happening. And so the shadow sage operates on a core of deception. And you know a lot of people that operates on this. So just listen to what I'm going to tell you here. They operate on a core of deception, that knowledge is exclusive truth and a privilege for the few. It wears the mask of a light sage, enlightening, insightful, and guardian of folk. You're going to meet a lot of people like that. Okay, a lot of people that are operating in this reptilian, because you are a reptilian, somebody. Me, you, when I finish tonight, you're going to be like, oh, okay, we'll continue. But anyway, you're talking about, but it's true. Agenda is to be a condescending, elitist gatekeeper. They hide the knowledge. It doesn't just want to liberate you with wisdom, it wants to control your dogma. And again, I go through this here. You can go to the website, Truth versus Authority, and you're going to see a trifecta there, because you have to understand the reptilian shadow work that's in everybody. This is a 100-page guide, or just going to go through it. And one thing that people don't know, I'm going to just point this out. There's a lot of you feeling sometimes drained, sometimes it may be normal, but when they attach to your solar plexus, of course, we know that for those of us who are investigators, we know where that reptilian stuff comes, how they get connected to that aura. And people ask me all the time, Roderick, you talking about it? How are you talking about it? They can't find me. And you're like, not the ones that are in the shadows of things. Now, their minions here on Earth can, but if your vibration is very high, then they can't see you in the first place. They get it when your vibration is down, and you have to get the protection. You see this right here, this reptilian behind her. You see the shield, the solar plex shield. I have it all. Everything is designed on what I call archetypal intelligence, the reptilian rule. It was, when you read the first few chapters and 100 pages or 50 pages, it's going to teach you everything about these reptilians, where most people think it's a myth. Oh, they don't exist. I'm going to show you tonight that they change your DNA. You're a part of it. And there's going to be another secret to this, though. Something to reason why you should be 50 times X better doing, getting more, anything that you have in life. Everybody listening to me right now, to my voice, you have the ability to be more. But what they told you to fear, what they told you to look at as this snake, this swift tongue, this gift of gab, all of these things, because they wanted you to do what we call the inversion, so that you don't seek the knowledge. But as every pastor, preacher, especially in my community, they know, they just won't tell you. And this is where we see the reptilian inversion, not just in our language, but in our very psychology. And this isn't just a historical trick. It's the activation of a specific program, a shadow archetype that I identify in the shadows, that I talk about in this Shadow of Deception guide. It's not a book. This is a guide. This is 500 pages. Again, I give you the light language. I give you the shadow language. I give you the conspiracies. I time in all your conspiracies. You can see who the politicians, you can see whatever it is. It's all in here. And this is things I wasn't supposed to tell you, but you're going to hear it, because it's time for you to connect to source. You got to remember who you are. That's the key. It ain't finding, it's remembering. This is why they challenge our minds, and this is why they do everything. So for a moment, I want you to screenshot this, if you will. Screenshot this, okay? This is the website, Truth versus Authority. You're going to get all of these. And I'm going to give you the Shadow of Reptilian Deception shirt. That's $40 value. I don't care what your size is, 1X, 5X, whatever, which or more, you're going to get you one, because you deserve to have it. Please screenshot this, because you're going to need it. And I guarantee you're going to need it. What is happening in the future today, you're going to need it. I'm going to put on the screen how this works, okay? So look real closely. This is the triangle up to the top, and you'll see the reptilian, archons, demons, whatever you want to call them, but they're in the mind, okay? And then they tap into, the archons tap into the other section here. So this is where they start. And then they tap into this part, all right? This is where they get into the presidential. See, 80%, I would say 70% of our politicians, people in power, are reptilians, plain and simple. And they go all the way back. And like I said, I'm going to talk to you tonight. So you're going to just keep your notes tonight, because nothing will be as it was ever again after this small, soft conversation that I'm going to have with you, as though I'm talking to my family tonight. And you, my family, I love you all. You know that, right? I tell you every show. So tonight, this is love talking to you. So please hear with your heart, not your mind, not with, and again, if you hear me make a mistake, I got my grammar box, I got my letter box. You know what I'm saying? You know where it is. You got unlimited letters, and you can correct the word. If you hear it right and I butcher it, your consciousness is working. You're great. But if you got to call me out, then it's ego, and this is why you're going to need the shadow book here, okay? You're going to need that. But anyway, we're family and we're all one love. We're all there is, has been, and ever can be. We all one infinite consciousness. All of us. This is why we have the collective unconscious. This is why you and me and some of these people dream the same dreams and we don't even know each other. And you can get up in the morning and draw it. I draw, you draw, and we'll probably have the similar sketches and we'll be wondering, how does that happen? Because we're all connected to source. When you breathe, you're connected to source. We all are. That's another story that we're going to talk about that this Saturday when we do our True versus the Reality or Knowledge Beyond Reality events. You know, if you go to that website, I'll put it back on the screen and just leave it here for a minute. What, you know, the people in Dallas that are coming, we're going to talk about that this Saturday. So let me just keep that on the screen for a moment. And we're going to do that. But anyway, you're going to get this free. This shirt comes with that. And that way you always will have what you need to see everything. All right. So let's continue where I'm going with this. When I tap this into what I call the shadow sage, it operates on a core deception that knowledge is an exclusive truth, a privilege for the few. It wears the mask of light sage, right? Enlightened, insightful, a guiding force. But its true agenda is a little different, like I said. And you got to be able to see this out here today. You got to be able to see this in some of these leaders out there. You got to be able to see it. There's times I may operate in my reptilian shadow or something and don't know it. But now I'm a lot better. I integrate it. I can control it. And that control gives you more power. You're going to discover that tonight. So make sure you stick around. It doesn't want to, you know, they don't want you to liberate this wisdom. So I want you to think about it. The early Ophites or Opites or whatever they call them was Gnostics. They claimed that the serpent, listen to me, that the serpent was the author of wisdom for all humanity. And let me take a sidebar here for a second. You can challenge anything I tell you tonight, and I want you to, because your eyes are useless when your mind is blind, okay? Let me repeat that. Your eyes are useless when your mind is blind. It doesn't work. Your mind is like a parachute. It only works best when it's open. Makes sense. So Christ was here 5,000 years ago or before that. Okay, so we know this. But long before that, every single species of any intelligence that was bipedal, that walked the earth, that breathed or came from source, talks about there are serpent beings everywhere. They left clues everywhere. And again, I said it before, this is before religion. And then when religion was instrumented, they start saying, look the other way. Even in the Bible, it says that the tree of wisdom or whatever it was gave knowledge. But then they tell you that it's Satan or it's serpent or it's bad or whatever, so that you do not get the knowledge. But enough is enough. You're going to make a determination of what's good for you, because back in the day, those priesthoods that came after them acting on what I call the ultimate, all these shadows, they took the universal liberating knowledge, looked it away, and then they declared that only they had the key. This is what I started out when you just first clicked on this video. You have something in you. You just got to accept it and understand. And it may take you some time. Cognitive dissonance is real. But anyway, they turned it, what I would say, a living truth into a rigid religion, forcing the masses to become passive observers of the truth that they were no longer allowed to access directly. The knowledge wasn't destroyed. They didn't destroy it. It was inverted and gatekept. And that is the program that I talk about in the shadow sage here. And I don't know what to tell you. Some of you is going to pass, and all I want you to know is mark today, some of you, I'm not saying everyone, you know why there's some things you know. You know there's some world that something is just not right. You know you've been trying. You know that the way the media, all of this stuff is designed to keep your vibration low. You just need to know who does it. And the fact that they want it to be the most hilarious thing, that these people don't exist, that shapeshifters and all of that, and Illuminati, we already know what they do, most of you, that they don't exist. The devil's greatest trick was to make you realize he wasn't there. They didn't just make that up. But the history, our ancestors made us understand that it's real. Why would they do that? Why every religion would write serpent and dragons everywhere? Everywhere. Because there's something to it, because those people that I'm going to get to in a minute, just stick around. So now, if that doesn't surprise you, then what I'm going to say in a little bit will. Okay? And let me go further. See, the Christian Bible itself is a replicate with these serpent connections. You get what I'm saying? Someone said, seriously, I'm going to lose it. I'm at my wit's end. What's going on with you, MC7 son? How can we serve you today? We do not need you to go through whatever. What's happening with you? Please state it in the chat. We're a family, so we want to know. All right, so again, the Christian Bible itself is replete with the serpent connections. And once you learn them, the oracle consulted by King Saul, if you go back to the look in the history books, was known as one that hath ob, okay? A word that means serpent. The serpent worshipers, you remember of Moses' time, were known as the Hivites, Hivites, a name derived from Hivia, or serpent. The root of the name Eve, we all know that is. The Hivites later became known as the Ophites, Ophits, the early Christian Gnostic serpent worshippers who claim affinity with the Christians in the 2nd century AD. And the scriptures are implicitly on this point, that the children of Israel intermarried with them and served their gods. You get what I'm saying? MC7 son, we're still waiting because we want to make sure we help you. Okay. Thank you, Queen. Queen says she's with me. You get what I'm saying? So the explicit says that the children of Israel intermarried with these or with them and served their gods. All right. Israel. If you wonder why we do so much over here for there, just backtrack everything. And then you're going to get the truth. The truth is going to let you know. And I've slipped it out many times over here. You just can't say it out loud. They just do whatever. But anyway, this is a direct record of hybrid bloodlines and a transfer of worship. But I want you to keep understand when you hear me talk about these bloodlines that some of you have the bloodline. Hey, I'm with you, S Divide. S Divide. I don't know why I thought your username was MC7 son. But okay, well, cool. Appreciate that. The serpents, listen to me. These are direct record of hybrid bloodline. Hybrid bloodline. And I'm saying it is worth for you to find out if you have this bloodline, and I guarantee you, many of you do. You got it in you. You have it. And you know you do. You feel it. You can't figure it out because it's all designed for you not to remember who you are. That's what the design is. See, these serpent gods were also known as Balaam, from the god Baal. Baal, I want you to take notes, is an abbreviation for Ab-El. And we already know El, Ohim, El is the meaning of God, right? Meaning the serpent god, or more accurately, the shining serpent. I want you to know that, okay? Now, this aspect is the critical clue, okay? This is where we're going to go. So follow along with me. Ashley, thank you. Russian said, I'm here. Thank you. Yvonne said, what's going on? I love you. All right. So here's where I'm going. The shiny aspect of this is a critical clue. It's in the Bible. Adam and Eve, whoever, they all had shiny skin. So we'll just put that to the side and keep that as a note. The serpent was seen in the sky up there, shone down upon us. This is why in Egypt, the sun disk, or a 10, is always wrapped with Arrayus, the cobra. Remember, it's got the cobra. Remember, it's the cobra. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, I got that book, The Return of the Serpent Wisdom. Yeah, I have 48 books on reptilians. I got some books you can't even find. I've been studying this stuff. And then I studied it because I were trying to find this reptilian shapeshifters. And then as I got further, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm looking for the wrong thing. I'm looking for the negative stuff when it's now pointing to wisdom, knowledge. And I'm like, whoa. So how do I get people to get? So yeah, I start talking about the reptilians. Go back, you'll see all the videos. Then I start gradually letting you know it's something that's in us and you, because you can't just tell everybody this. See, because the serpent was a worldwide symbol of the sun, because these shiny ones were the lights in the sky that descended to earth. They were the ships, the craft of the strange serpent-like humanoids that walked among mankind. The Greeks called Baal the dragon or the great serpent. Baal is Assyrian Babylonian, is the virgin of the gods, Enlil and Marduk. Okay, just make sure you go look that up. The same Baal seen throughout the Bible. This was not a local cult. See, the European festival of Beltane should be rendered Baltan. Tanit was the patron goddess of Carthage, her name meaning serpent lady. She is the same queen of heaven, Astris, Isis, and even in her archetypal form, Mary. And all of these deities trace back to Babylonian beliefs of serpent worship. And you want to think, yes, are they good, bad, reptilian? There's some good ones, a lot of good ones. Okay, yes. And because you got to remember, Yvonne, that there was a war between good ones and bad ones. The ones who violated the thing that wasn't supposed to do, intermingling or marrying and seeing the daughters of man, and then giving us the ability to procreate and all this stuff. We wasn't supposed to do all this. And there was a war, and they fought, and some of those good ones left. And then the bloodlines of the bad ones stayed here, who are ruling, who are doing things in control today. Now, supposedly we keep talking about this Nibiru and all these people coming back, the Anunnaki. I believe some of them are already here. They're fighting. We just can't really see it within the dimension of what we see, the world. But if you stick around with where we're going, a lot of you are going to be able to see it. If you tap into this guide and then this reptilian shadow work and all that, I'm just telling you, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm trying to alarm you to it. But my children are okay. They know the knowledge. They walk around with high vibrations. My friends, which you already seen, all of my friends walk around with high vibrations, and you already seen who they are, from Brother Joseph to Doc B to Billy to King Simon to Aaron, and I got plenty of more. These are my friends. These are people on my phone. We talk. We know about this. We know. I'm surrounded by high vibrational beings that are all connected to source, and they understand this. But if you don't have that around you, and you may think you do until you do get plugged in, but like I said, I wish I can have them everywhere, but I noticed that they don't come to Dallas. A lot of them don't. So I was like, how can I do this? So I got on the phone, and all of them said, yeah, we'll come, one after another. And I'm talking, I got enough friends for 2 years straight here every month. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're just going to do it. If it's 50 people in that room, God bless those 50 people. But if all of them show up every time, they will be in their God mode without a shadow of a doubt. They will not be disturbed by nothing, because if you walk away from this stuff after so long coming down there and you still got a problem, you're not from whatever. I'm just saying. But anyway, that's the link there. Y'all can go. You can register. If you're in Dallas, you can come this Saturday. I'm doing a camera free thing, you know. But anyway, if you think this is interesting, then wait until you hear what's happening next. Okay. It may seem shocking, but historical records suggest that the keepers of this knowledge were the very people who shaped early Christianity. A general term used for early Christian Gnostics was ophites, which mean serpent worshipers. Why would they use that? Why would they put it out there, serpent worshipers? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? And Infinius, which is EPIPHANIUS. Make sure you write that down. You can pronounce it. I can see it. My visual can see it, and I can see things. I can see a whole book page here. But anyway, it's EPIPHANIUS. Pronounce it. But it's the early church father who wrote that the Ophites taught that the ruler of this world was a draconic form. Go figure. And furthermore, the Ophites attributed all wisdom to the serpent of paradise and said that he was the author of knowledge of men. You can't make this up. You can't make this up. But listen, we're no longer trying to, at least me in a few, I'm no longer trying to be the person that's going to be, this is what they're doing. Heck yeah. I want to tell you what they're doing, who's doing it, how they're doing it, and you take the knowledge and do it too. Because there are 5 billion people on this planet, and there's a lot of evil ones. And if you can get the wealth of the wicked and you can go and do some good for your generation, your family, they deserve it, and go get it and become wealthy, because there's enough of this exchange of currency energy for everyone. All 5 billion people here ain't innocent souls. Some of them are on the other side, and we can get their money too. So learn the techniques of what they're doing to control this world, and then you can control your circle, and you pass along to your generation so that they are prepared when you're gone. Otherwise, everybody's going to keep coming back. They're going to keep being reincarnated because they're being told, number one, that there is a hell. And I don't even want to get into that, because there is not. There is no need to be fearing that. They made that up. They have a way to trap our souls here and to keep you coming back and wiping it. But as long as you start remembering. All right. Anyway, that was a detour, and I shouldn't really went there. This is a complete inversion of the story that we've been told, that the guardians to the original tradition believed that the serpent was the source of wisdom and not the source of sin. That's the point I'm trying to make. And in here, you're going to see all the dark stuff and the light stuff. You got to get this. I mean, if you got it already, you could turn to that number 7. You can put it in the chat and read it. Some of you got it. Now we're behind. It's taking me about 7-10 days because I got to print the shirt, then get the new author copies and all of this. And like I said, you can keep this and refer to it. And then I have 50 different places throughout ancient history that gives you hints and clues of serpent stuff. All throughout here. It's like a museum for you. It's like a museum. This is my Mona Lisa to help humanity, because that's what we all got to be doing. And if I do a good job, I've already learned, and I'll teach you this right now, wherever you are in life financially or wherever, it's directly proportionate on what you're giving back to humanity, negative or positive. I just want you to know, because there's no good or bad. It's just good decisions, bad decisions that affect humanity. That's another thing that you're going to learn about love. But where you are. So if you think about why Amazon has all the money in the world, because he created something that everybody in the world uses. So by default, it just has to happen. You can't stop it. You help 1,000 people. So this is why you got a mega church that has 10,000 people. The so-called pastor, I'm just saying, lives like this. And the church that has 10 people in it lives like that. And the 10 people church usually is going to tell you they don't like revivals. They don't like they don't need a big church. I don't want a big church, but why they have revival? Go think about it. Any small church tell you they don't want a big church and they have a revival, they're lying. They're lying. They're lying. Not about love, it's about money. There is love, Vivo. There is love. Money, listen to me. That's what they got us fooled about, Vivo. And I'm going to take a detour because I love you to tell you this. This is why they got us not wanting the money. They want you to think that the money is bad. It's not. Think about all the things you would do with your good heart of the money. They want to take it for themselves. They want it all for themselves. They can use control. If you had the money, you can write the check. This is why some of these people get out of situations that none of us would. It is about the money. Everything is about the money. Now, money is not everything. Let's both of us agree there. Money is not everything. However, I stand corrected. It's right up there with oxygen. That's where I rate it. So don't let them tell you that it's all about money. It is, but it's what you're going to do with the currency. That's why it's called currency. Currency, to flow, to energize, to keep it moving. When it stops, it gets stagnant. Currency. So you want to create currency that comes back in the Ambros, right? That comes back in the whole system of things. So just know what they're doing it and learn what they're doing and take their money and do good with it. Get their money. They want to give it up. They fall on the same principles of natural law that we do. Just learn the rules of this game, and then you will play it to its fullest and entirely, and teach your children, your friends, everybody the game. Because the rules will never go away. The game will never go away. The rules are going to be here. I mean, the game is going to be. I'm sorry. I get a little excited when I talk about that part. But this implies to what I call the narrative of the fall of man. Is it a moral tale? It's propaganda. It's the rewritten history of conflict, and it's the rewritten history that they told at the victor's point of view. This is how they did, because you got to remember, this belief was expressed in most sacred rituals. And all right, think about this. Think about this. I'm going to use this for example, this little cup with chassis or whatever you call it. There was a belief where expressed in the most sacred ritual. Remember, there was a ritual cup that was known as the cup of Agadama, demon or whatever, meaning simply the good serpent. Now, this serpent consecrated cup of the wine was held around after supper. Think about where you've seen this before. Thousands of years later, the Christians still take the cup of Christ, who was called the good serpent by the Gnostics, by the way. And this modern ritual is none other than the original but renamed cup of sacred serpent, which gives the body and blood of our oldest god, the ancient serpent race. They don't change that. Remember, I said the game never goes away. They just change the rules. And that's how they do it. That's how they do it. Yeah. And he says, I bet the first thing you did when you got a lot of money is get a whole bunch of Jordans, and I just feel a whole closet full of Jordans right away. I feel a whole, you talking about me? Or you must be talking about somebody else. If you're talking about me, just put yes in the chat. I don't know if you're having a conversation with someone else. Where I'm sick and seeing an episode on the network that you are challenging me to do what you know what. Where is sick and I? And of that, yes, a challenge of so that your Puerto Rican could tell. Okay, I don't know if you're talking, because I can't see the chats all the time because they move them pretty fast. I have to look to the right. I can't look into the camera, but let me know if you're talking about me. Just put a yes, please. If you're not, then I think y'all could be having a conversation with other people. But let me continue. Is the mark of Christianity Catholic and the third eye being? I'm telling you, I'm not good. I'm effed up. All right. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm not good. All right. So here's what we're going to do. My email is contact@WhyTheBigSecret.com. I'm going to put it on the screen. Hang on. We're going to do this because I don't judge anybody anymore. I've learned we can't do that. But if my brethren need help and the best I can within reason of what I could do, then I'm going to do this. So let me put, all right. So that's my email up on the screen. I want you to Oh, you was talking about somebody else. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you was okay. I was going to say that's my email. I was going to tell you to email me your number. I will call you and we'll talk. I'm there. I'm here for you. That's what I was getting ready to say. All right. So I was getting ready to say, get my email and then I will do it. I was not talking about you. I hear Mean Al. Mean Al was just talking about loud. Okay, no problem. But anyway, if you do need a brotherhood or a sisterhood, I mean, I don't know if it's a woman or a man, whatever. But I do have other people too, sisters and all that. But if you do need, that's my email address. And this goes for any of you. If you are willing to put your contact number, then I would do it. But if you're going to be all anonymity and you can see me and I can't see you, but then you want to email me back and forth, I don't know who I'm talking to, then I'm going to ignore it. I just have to do that, okay? But if you put and got anything that you want or need, I was talking about your boss. I was saying that he was child. Oh, I don't know. I don't have a boss, so I don't know. But anyway, let me continue because I'm sorry because I know a lot of you wanted to listen to what I wanted to say. But anyway, so just go back to there. If you, like I said, if you need anything, I got you. All right. So let me continue. Let's go again. All right. So I haven't even told you all the best part yet. The evidence seems to form a clear picture, and we're talking about the linguistic footprints, the religious rituals, and the Gnostic revelation. Let me say something words on my mind right now. We had 340 people in here when me and him started that dialogue. Then it jumped down to 280. 50 people ran out of here. Those are the people that I'm talking to you about. These are people that they don't care that someone else wants to help and deal, because if they're not getting, they're takers. Or all of a sudden the conversation change. Oh, I got to go. I'm glad they're gone. And if, and they're going to pop back in here. But they just don't want to see the exchange that possibly, even though it didn't turn out that way, that someone could have probably needed information. I can watch it all the time. They do it all the time. They jump out, boom, boom, boom. You can start talking about your books. They jump out. That's the world. So be careful with these people. But anyway, they all point to the same origin. Let me get back on track. A global prehistoric serpent being who descended from the sky. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with venting. I would have started that too. Are you venting or do you want help? Because usually I tell my friends, like, they'll be saying stuff. I'd be like, are you venting? They'd be like, yeah, then I don't intervene. I just let them talk. All right. But good. That's good. Just reach out. We got a big audience here. Just share your thoughts, man. There's a lot of people here to do. All right. So the central question becomes unavoidable that I was I lost my little outline here. Let me gather it back. If this is our history, then I will say, well, what happened? Why in modern world is the serpent not a symbol of wisdom, but the ultimate icon of evil? That's enough questions that we need to think about. And I want you to think about that. Too many, the very idea that the serpent is hidden within our religions and mythology will seem bizarre. But think about it. In Christianity and other faiths, it's like it's reviled. And the Agadamian, the good serpent of the Gnostics, it has been inverted. The bringer of knowledge is now the father of lies. The life giver is now the tempter, I would say. The transformation is not an accident of history. It is a clue. Now we're talking about a sign that the original narrative was deliberately and violently suppressed. And this itself is a folk memory of fearful and warring past between mankind and the serpent. And I'm going to reiterate, some of you are part of this raw war. So the story isn't, one of the peaceful tutelage. It's more of a complex, somewhere in the forgotten chapters of our history, the relationship went sour. It really did. All right. And the student turned on the teacher, and perhaps one group of gods turned to another, and humanity was caught in the crossfire. This is what I was saying. And our fear of the serpent then isn't superstition, it's a scar. It's a species-wide trauma from a war that we've been programmed to forget. They don't want us to know it happened. And like I said, the memory of this conflict is fragments across the world's oldest texts. Now, all right, so the user transcript states that history tells us that the original aliens, the shiny ones, did battle with the giants and brought about a great cataclysm. And this referred to hybrid race, the offspring of sacred guardians known as the Watchers, who, according to, good Lord, the Book of Enoch, they mated with human females. And their children were known as giants in the land. And then there was a disagreement. There was a problem, like always, not the gods or whatever, and so-called gods with an S. A war broke out between the original shining ones and the hybrid children. All right. And so there was a big war, and we hear about this all the time. And at the end of the day, the aftermath, the aliens escaped Earth, but left behind their seeds and the tools of power and communication. This is what we're dealing with today. This is why you can trace these lineages all the way back to these bloodlines and everything else. And you're not going to believe what happens next. Okay, so let's just keep going. This is the turn. See, the twist in our own origin story is that the serpent race didn't arrive and teach. They integrated. They bred with us, and they're totally breedable. And this is why when people be like, Roderick, how come I don't see the reptilians? I don't see them. Because you're not asking the right question. Because a lot of you got children, right? If you got children, think about what I'm about to say. If someone walked up to you and said, hey, they're looking at your kid and they go, wow, you look just like your son. Now you're thinking, oh, it's cute. But if you had to be technical, you're like, no. He looks like me. I made him. So when they say, let's make man in our image and the likenesses of ourselves, does that give you some type of clue that they could be walking among us and we just don't know? Because we're not the same who we are. You remember that our DNA was the splice. Remember Enlil or the sister once said, what you seek is already out there, some type of hominoid or whatever, mankind, Mongoloid or whatever, there was some type of species out there that the source created before the reptilians got here. And we wasn't this civilized that we were. You get what I'm saying? Because whatever it was, if they didn't invent toenail clips and hair stuff, we would have long, crazy hair, toenails would be everywhere. We'll be unrecognizable. So these people came and taught us grooming and all of this stuff. So again, they bred with us. And that act, whether it was a gift or transgression, created a new kind of being, part human, part God. Stop right there. I want that to sink in. I'm going to say that sentence 3 times. That transgression created something called a part human and part God. I'm closing my eyes because I want to send you this image to your mind. Part human, part God. And if you carry that DNA, because we all came from source and we all came from there, you all have a reptilian brain, you all have this reptilian stuff, you all got to know, and once you integrate it and control, not a shadow, don't get rid of it, control the reptilian shadow. You see that shadow back there, and you understand to disconnect them from that solar plex. They created a new kind of being, part human, part God, and it's in you. This is what they don't want you to know. This is what they don't want you to activate. Because when you get that kundalini and all that stuff activated and all of the serpent style, you're going to know your life will be totally different. Your life will be totally different. Thank you, Cole. Y'all give Cole a shout out with her beautiful smile there. Thank you so much. This is the why I want you to know. And again, for those who just joined us, you see that thing on the board here, that web address. You need to go there. And if you're in Dallas, Brother Joseph, it will be here on November the 20th, coming up from Houston, and we're going to talk to knowledge. Doc B is going to be here December in Dallas, at My Truth versus Authority, Knowledge Beyond Reality. Billy Carson will be here. It's going to be a small room, intimate room. And then King Simon on February. Aaron, y'all know who that is. She'll be here in March. Billy is going to come back in April. All right. And then I got more people. We're going to, every month from now on, because it's so severe what's going on. And you can go to events.truth versus authority, sign up, I'm going to try to figure a way to film it and put it in our Patreon, some of them, where some people can watch parts of it. But it is serious. I wish I can tell you everything that is happening, but if we were in private, I will tell you, protect yourself, people. I'm telling you, protect yourself and your loved ones, but you come first. Put the oxygen mask on you first. I'm pleading to tell you, protect yourself. I can care less if you don't want to protect yourself this way. You don't have to. I could care less, not out of bad love, but I'm saying it's nothing I can do but love you for either way that you are. So I can care less. I can still love you, and I will, but protect yourself. That's all I want you to know. You got to protect yourself. Yeah, and we have to do it. You have to. So anyway, and I need you to support our sponsors. Down in the link is Phoenix Phire. She sells and offers all kind of juju products, shadow soaps, solar plex soaps. Go to her website. It's down there in the chat. You cannot miss it. You cannot miss it. That's all I'm saying. Stupid that real textbooks, haha. Sometimes I'm gonna stop looking over here because sometimes I don't know what y'all are saying. I know y'all might be talking to someone else. Stupid that real textbooks, haha. What do you mean by that? But anyway, let's just keep going from there. And because I don't know. But anyway, back to the great one. Let me put it on the screen. Once again, I appreciate you, Cole, and all that good stuff. All right, so let me continue. This isn't just a story about aliens anymore. This is a story of a civil war within what I call a galactic family, and Earth was the battlefield. And when the original gods left, the bloodline remained. They stayed here, a hybrid lineage carrying the genetic code of a species that's not of this world. Now y'all get where I'm going, right? You see the stories. You can read the stories in Anunnaki. You can read whatever. They stayed here. Their bloodline, the blood runs through. So this conflict forces a re-examination of humanity's primordial parents. Adam and Eve? Really? The previous evidence suggests that they were part of the serpent lineage. But the story of the Garden of Eden suggests a different dynamic. See, remember in that story, mankind, in comparison to the remarkable animal, appeared foolish. He was stupid. Remember, he was stupid. And that's one of the things they did. So from that day forward, the serpent will control man. And the genetic makeup of this mankind altered from this moment. So they started to alter us. And this is how it went down. And this is the core contradiction out there. See, were Adam and Eve the first of the serpent bloodline, or were they the first subjects of it? Were they the programmers of a divine race, or the first products of a genetic engineered program? On one hand, the language is clear. Hevia, the root of Eve, means female serpent. Their son Abel's name means serpent shining. And according to the rabbinical tradition, Cain was the son of a serpent. Remember that, right? And suggests that they are serpent race. But the story itself tells us of a transfer of power, a moment of temptation via the serpent. And this suggests that they were something else before the encounter, that they were altered, they were controlled. You know what I'm saying? They were controlled. Let's put this up here. This one caught my attention. Come on, bro. You got to be for real. You wouldn't be holding on us while we need to protect ourselves and we're supposed to. And I'm not making us pay for something. You know, this is why I wanted to say what I want to say. I'm glad you said it. I have to do what I'm going to do. And I'm controlling what I'm about to say to you. On one hand, I want to just tell you. You see that I'm going to use a Christian thing here for you because you're saying, come on, bro, you would need to protect ourselves. Why we need to protect ourselves and we're supposed to do so and not making us wait until we pay out something to find out. I guarantee you pay for gas. I guarantee you because you got to get somewhere, but God gave you 2 legs to walk, but you don't want to walk. I guarantee you that you watch TV when God gave you a mind that you can close your eyes and dream to anything that you want to see, but you pay somebody a subscription to give you entertainment because your mind won't do it for yourself. I guarantee you that you do a lot of things that cost you money. And that was, but I would also guarantee that you are doing nothing to help anybody because you don't have the capacity or the bandwidth to do so. And I guarantee you, if they shut me down tomorrow, you are going to go watch somebody else. And me and my family has nothing because I'm supposed to give you something that I will tell someone in private because you want to know and you don't want to support me to give you that information as though your life and your family is not worth it. That's your problem. Now, if you want to come to Dallas and meet, you can ask me that straight up. And I guarantee you I will give you the answer. But you want me to do it here, and you can stand behind a username. I don't even know who you are. You know who I am. I'm in Dallas, Texas. I stand before you as real as it comes and as sovereign as I am. Now, for me to stay up 16 hours on a daily basis for 2 years studying something to give you in a flash, right? For me to give you in a flash, and you want to say, Roderick, all the study and everything you did is not worth a measly pennies or whatever to give to you. Now I'm going to speak Christian to you. The devil is a lie. The devil is lying to you all across this world. And I hope that your life changes enough that you understand that and that you get something to say, that you put your blood, you stay up at night, you trying to help somebody, blah, 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 that you then put a price of that suffering on it for you. And that those people who are blessed by it will then relieve that suffering for you because you have put in the work for humanity and God will bless you for that. He is not intended for you to bless me. There's no way. And you may not even want to stay here because I will alter and shift anything you're thinking because it's not what you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to be here. So come on, bro. Why would you say such a thing? Why would you even put this out here? That very reason is what you need to tap into it. I'm just telling you. I didn't ask you or make you and put a gun to your head and say, you want to do this. I didn't do that. I gave you option, free will. This is the God gift that we all have. It's up to you where you want to go drink your water tomorrow. I guarantee you're going to pay for something at choice wherever you go, anywhere you go. It costs to be born, it costs to live, and it costs to die. But somebody like you will probably figure out that you can leave that last bill to somebody else. So I love you. I love you. I just wanted to put that out there. I just want you to put it out there. But I love you. I love you all. And let me continue because we just got a little more to go. I love you. It is no bad hatred. I just wanted to put it out there because I want you to imagine this, that this paradox sits at the heart of the human condition. And are we serpents' children or are we serpents' property? The bloodline of cattle. The evidence when we view is totality suggesting answers in both. Now, we're a hybrid species born from the conflict that has never ended. You get what I'm saying? You know, thank you, Sharon. I love you. I love you all. I love you all. Thank you for putting that out there. Yeah, I just want y'all to know. I love you. So a species containing two natures, you got to remember this, that one was on Earth and one was from the stars, and one that seeks to create and another that seeks to control. The eternal war is the divisions of our very soul, and maybe what I call the serpent's legacy when it comes down to this. I want you to know. Let me take this off the screen. Okay, there we go. My bad. So yeah, I believe in shapeshifters. Heck yeah. I do believe in. And here's the secret that changes everything. And as the serpent children of the serpent property, I want you to know, and for a long time, I thought this was a question about history, right? Because remember, I was digging it up and it was about an event that happened or didn't happen thousands of years ago. But the deeper I went, the more I realized that it isn't a historical question at all. It's a psychological one. And it defines the two paths available to every human being alive. And it's the central choice of our existence hidden behind the veil of our own origin. I want you to know it really is. I want you to know. Yeah. And so the evidence presented in the historical record, when viewed through the lens, reveals a profound duality. One on the path of humanity is defined by its lineage, and the transcript states the origin of humanity is from the line of serpents. And now, this is the path of empowerment. This is the belief that we carry the genetic and spiritual inheritance, right, of the gods. This is what I'm trying to point out to you. Y'all give Flip Flops a shout out. Yeah, appreciate it. So this is what I'm trying to point out, y'all, that the beliefs that we carry and the spiritual inheritance of the gods, of the shining ones, it is the path to sovereign. The priest king, the operator who understands the hidden architect of reality. So on the other path, humanity is defined by its subjugation, but the record also states from that day forward, okay, the serpent will control man. Remember, it said that. And this is the path of the observer and the passive subject, a resource managed and controlled and formed for energy by forces that don't that we don't comprehend. Remember, we talk about Loosh, right? We talk about Loosh. Remember, we talk about how remember in the Matrix, they was talking about the battery and how they're using us. And I know a lot of us feel drained. There was times I would just feel drained, and you'd be like, "What's going on?" And when I was, married long time ago, I was like, "What are we arguing about?" And you can feel that something was just like sparking this stuff, right? It was crazy. There we go. Y'all give another shout out to Paper Bags. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, right? And thank you, Cash Con Chorus. You're correct. Yeah, but you get what I'm saying, right? It's like it's my time I go to bed with a radio every night growing up. Yeah, I used to go to bed there too. I used to listen to Art Bell at night. Man, that used to be some good stuff. But anyway, so I'm just going to point out again, there is a path of what I call the observer that's feeling when you're talking about being managed, and it's not by accident. It's a result of meticulously design, a psychological program that's running in us. And this blueprint, according to my research, identifies something totally different, right? And it's the look at the screen. It's the reptilian root, but it's called the shadow controllers. All right, the shadow controllers is the core deception that's perfect order to mastery and safety. It presents an organized, directive, and supportive building systems is what it is. But beneath this thing, and you see I got the reptilian there, but beneath that mask is an agenda. And you're going to see that out there everywhere. So even in here, I put together the, let me see if I can turn to that page. I think it's 300 and something here. Oh, there's a couple of them back. Let me go back real quick, and I'm gonna read something from it. All right, so in here, I have the shadow controller. I talk about the light side. So when you think about it, when you meet this particular person or thing, they're very organized, they're directed, they're supportive. They act like they support you. Got a lot of you have met people in your life, but remember that reptilian is in everybody. So I'm gonna give you some ways to be able to see it when they're operating on that other side. Because the other side, that same controller, that same organized, that same directed person is domineering, obsessive, invasive, and this is not a narcissist. Make no mistake about it. This is something totally different. But you want to understand that this control central lies, the fundamental illusion, which is the entire program, again, is built on psychological stuff. And the light archetype that I have in here of that on the surface, it's a beacon of guidance. These are people that act like they're guiding you somewhere, right? They'd be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But that's not true. Now, just a quick phase in there. I got the how they manifest. I have the reptilian rule. I even give you the conspiracies. Every shadow is connected to some conspiracy. In this particular one, goes all the way back to the 2013 Edward Snowden stuff. The conspiracy laws, marketing, alien surveillance tech, Cambridge. I give you all that information. Then I give you the luminous, and then I give you light shadow work. You don't have to get this 100-page guide, and I tell you a little bit of things you want to do, and that how to reflect and do and make sure you're not dominated. But you want to keep this because there's people all over the place, everywhere, every day. And again, we all have this in us. I have these shadow bad traits. We all do, because it's part of our collective unconscious. But once you're able to recognize it, and then you're able to control it, you don't kill it. Don't let a person tell you you got to kill your shadow, because I used to hear that a long time ago. Then you're going to kill that's why most people are lost when they do that, trying to just drown it out. Well, that's what they're doing anyway. They keep your shadow controlled. You want to integrate that shadow. You want to be able to integrate it so it gives you immense power. You remember that, right? And so know over here to the right that God gave this person superpowers, and God gave this person superpower. This one is Batman and this one is the Joker, but they both had superpowers. It's your freedom of choice, what you use it for. And Joker turned to the bad side. Batman controlled his shadow. That's why the metaphorically of him in this dark shadow suit. These people don't play in games. They put this stuff in front of us, right? They do it all the time so that they're able to show some of the stuff that they're doing. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, the shadow will get you out of the jam. You ain't lying. Once I learned that years ago, and then got better at it over the last year or so, and started learning, and then I started like, wait a minute, that shadow is the one that's going to tell you to the reptilian side tells you to fight or flight. Let's go. The shadow is going to tell you to maneuver a little bit. It's cunning. It's going to do a lot of stuff. So just remember, you want to do that. And so I do have that trilogy that comes together, 100-page. But my stuff is based on reptilian stuff. So you can find some shadow work stuff if you want. But everything I do is based on reptilian, because all the years and years of studying it and becoming a formal expert of it, certified UFO investigator, interviewed 400 or 500 of people. I had a secret clearance when I was 20 years old for the government, right? Military contractor and all this stuff. So I've been around this stuff for quite some time. And so seen a UFO when I was 12. But again, on Clubhouse, if a lot of you met me there back in the pandemic, I started a room just to have 10 people to talk to. It turned to 30 to 40,000 people. And that's when I started Project Black, the Black League of Alien Contact Knowledge, which is now the Black Lexicon of Ancient Cosmic Knowledge, because we're all one source, a part of one source, right? And so this is the very essence of the matrix that we were born into. It's a system of control that masquerades as a system of care. And the choice is to awaken, to become an operator. And this is why I call this thing the operator's guide. Okay. Change you from being an observer to an operator. And like I said, you can go to my website, truthversusauthority.com. And I should have put that on the board too. And we could have put this up here. So yeah, my bad. I should have put that up here a long time ago. And because you can get to the events from that too. And it doesn't matter. Okay, so let me just put that up there. All right, so there, everything you can find at truthversusauthority.com. So let me just leave that up there so that we can continue to go. All right, so again, you want to begin recognizing the very structures that promise you safety and often the walls of your own cage, right? But here's a catch to it. It is a goal that they have to turn you into what I call a puppet while posing as a caring leader. David Icke talks about it all the time. You have problem, reaction, solution, right? You have this all the time. The ancient Gnostics understood this perfectly back in the day. And when they warned us of the archons, the hidden rulers, they were describing the ultimate shadow controllers. The one I would just put on the screen, what I describe here in this operator's guide. Okay. So the psychic spiritual parasites create systems of authority and not to empower you. They do not, but to make it easier for you to manage in like complacent livestock, right? Or on a planetary form. We are somebody's properties here. The meat suits and stuff that we have, but the soul that we are is the problem for them once the soul remembers who it was. And so this paradox perfectly illustrated by one of the mankind's oldest and most controversial rituals. And if you're male, I want you to listen to what I'm about to say. The oldest ritual is circumcision. That is the peel back, cut, slit, and get your, the extra whatever, you know. All right. So this thing that was done, and my mom had it done to me. Thank God I was young and don't remember the pain of it. Okay. All right. But the official explanation is one of the covenant, right? And we got another one here. Hang on. All right. So I believe in divine timing. I was supposed to tune in tonight. Thank you. All right. Give us a But I will say this for you, Sneed, that I'm going to put on my screen here and let me make sure that we do that. But anyway, thank you. But I'm going to put on the screen here real quickly. Screenshot this. I have my own channel that I also do. I'm here on Tuesday night, but you can find a lot of my work on my personal channel, Roderick Martin, Truth versus Authority. I would love for you to subscribe to that channel, and you can get a lot more so that you're hearing it all the time, and you can get plugged in to the stuff that we talked about in Patreon, where we talk about stuff in our Patreon, where right here, I think I got to turn that banner off, where we talk about things that we don't talk about on the outside. Okay. And that's where we're not suppressed or anything. So you're able to, just find us there as well. But again, like I said, you can find me on my personal channel. I'm here on Billy's channel only on Tuesdays, once a week. So anyway, let's go back to the most controversial ritual called circumcision. And like I said, men, you do know what I'm talking about. And women who have kids know when you had little sons, you might have told them to do it. See, the official explanation is one of the covenant, or they'll say it's the hygiene or tradition. But it goes back to a symbolic origin back in the day that reveals a totally deepened story. See, the Egyptians back then held the belief that when the snake shed its skin, and you've seen this all over places, it undergoes rebirth. So a mirror of their greatest God is what they thought back in the day. And so the Egyptian priests, in what they call a mock ritual, therefore they removed the foreskin, and so that the male was born again like the snake. This is where this came from. Yeah, this is where it came from. Although I would say that I'm sure someone else would do it. You get what I'm saying? But this is where it came from. Yeah, you just kind of go from there. And this is what we'll do. Um, Worthy server. Oh, y'all having a good one tonight. My mom, OBGYN, described me the pain that she was seeing her baby's face doing that ritual made her cry. Yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah, I'm sure it was. No pay, no way. I have to pay. Yeah, yeah. Don't pay for nothing in life and see what happens. Don't pay your water bill. Don't pay your light bill. Don't pay your gas bill. Don't pay your air bill. They'll turn you off. They'll put you out on the street. They won't feed you. Don't pay nothing and see what happens in your life. Don't pay your tickets. You go to jail. Don't pay anything. You don't have to pay nothing else. I guarantee you, I'm just a small thing in this world of whatever you want to think about. But if you wake up tomorrow and decide you don't want to pay nothing on your taxes, don't pay nothing, you will go to jail. You won't collect $200. You're gonna go directly to jail. You won't eat. You're gonna be outside. Nobody will love you. Nobody's gonna see with you because you're not gonna pay your water bill. You're not gonna take a bath. You're not gonna eat. You're not gonna brush your teeth because you're not gonna buy toothpaste and your teeth gonna turn green and black and blue. You're not gonna pay to get your nails cut, and so your nails are gonna grow long and long. You're gonna be hideous, and nobody's gonna look at you. You're gonna be staying under a bridge because you don't want to pay, and then you can't pay, stay there because there always a bridge landlord, even in the homeless community. Somebody's running the show. Don't pay nothing. Just walk around with the thought in your mind that you have to pay. You don't want to pay. No way, no way. Think about that. Think about what your self is saying. Think about it. Just think about it. Okay. Don't pay nothing tomorrow and see what your life is like within a 7-day period. Don't pay nothing and see what it's like. And I guarantee you, you won't have nothing. The path of true, the path is remembering. You got to just do research to remember who you are, right? There's people, like I said, that can expedite that because they already done the research, right? This is why you see the knowledge economy today. But if you take the time and you want to go look it up, just start. I would tell you to start with anything serpent, and then it will take you into religion. It'll take you into the truth. But the whole point is you being what we call sovereign. You have to develop the sovereign. And then once you remember, then you will begin to raise your vibration because remembering is going to be where your truth lies. And that's within anything. They even said that Mufasa said it in The Lion King to Simba, right? Remember who you are because you forgot me, you forgot who you are, right? And so there's a lot of hidden messages and these crazy stuff. But yeah, so just start there to search ancient knowledge of because serpent religion was everywhere. And so obviously there was something, and they came here and taught us what we know today. So there was knowledge in this. In fact, all of us in here today can get hit in the head with a brick, and you can see the McDonald's symbol. You can see a couple of symbols. If you see that 2 snakes in this thing around with the wings, you are going to walk in there because somehow you know through symbology that there's wisdom, knowledge. It's going to save your life. You're going to go to that caduceus, right? You know, or a Theseus, whatever caduceus or whatever it's called. But you're going to go there because you already know that that medical symbol with the 2 serpents swinging around this pole with wings is knowledge, and it's going to save your life. So think about it like that. Okay. So just look at it that way. All right. So this next part, and then we're going to get you out of here in a little bit. I just got kind of behind because I was going back and forth, but it's okay. So I want you to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Here, you're going to see the 2 paths in what I call a single act, and it's the ritual, an act of immolation. The choice to become godlike is what they want you to do when you shed one skin and achieve a higher consciousness. And that is the operator's path, okay? Or you can act of submission, a mark of ownership, a brand placed upon the herd by what they call the unseen master, right? So the line between sacrament and a seal of servitude is terrifying thin when you start coming like this. Now, actually, I wouldn't tell you all the reptilians are demons. It's in our minds. And no, you're not a demon, but it's kind of hard to describe, but it's in our mind is where the reptilian lies within, right? The shadows of it all. Okay. So it's kind of there, but let's just continue there. But yeah, just know that you're not a demon. all reptilians are not demon. Remember, they have part human bloodlines. There are um, uh, integrated bloodlines that are here, and there's good people here, and there's some people don't even know who they are. They don't know. But anyway, this mark, this symbol of serpent, will become the key that they have put in the transcripts that I was reading. Referenced the tall cross, right? It's almost like the Ankh almost, but it's called a Tau, T-A-U. It's a symbol of the serpent deity. And they say that this symbol become the mark or sign which will set the believer aside from saving when the gods return. Supposedly when you return, you're supposed to have this mark on your forehead. In Ezekiel, this mark that he was talking about, that God would know, right? Remember, a sign of loyalty, ensuring that the bearer is recognized not as the enemy, but as property. Property. No, I didn't know Texas was called the New Philippines, no, or Philatians or Philippines, no. But anyway, this duality is not an abstract concept. It has played out through history in the form of protected, hidden, and powerful bloodlines, which we have been talking about. So remember, I was talking about the research, again, identifies them. And now this is going to go a little part. We're talking about the Merovingians. The Merovingians. Look up that bloodline. It's the dynasty. It's here today. They go all the way back. In fact, the way that went was that the war was in through this bloodline, and then at some point they killed or hurt and hunted whatever one of them, which he was put under. In 3 days he rose, came back, and ever since that got out, they began to protect this bloodline, protect this dynasty, protect the secrets, and the Knights of Templars, all of this stuff. They've been doing this stuff for quite some time. And so know that this has been going down a lot. So the dynasty of Frankish priests and kings with magical powers, they were said to be descendants from an ultra ancient race and spawned by the great sea beast, the Quinator, right? This supposedly this connect the lineage directly all the way back to the Babylonian creation myth, Tiamat, T-I-A-M-A-T, the primordial serpent goddess. They talk about the ancient alien blood curse through their veins, right? And it was claimed by them to remain to this day as one of the most powerful families on this planet. So they still exist. And that's why I was telling some of you that some of you have this bloodline somewhere, because there was a lot of them. Go trace it all the way back. Not do the, just go all the way back to the ancient Babylons and see what region you come from. But anyway, here's one of the last things you should know. This isn't the bloodlines, is what I call operators. The divine right to rule justify direct genetic links to the goal, to the gods. So, but we have to ask the difficult question. What does their divine right mean for everyone else? Okay. If they are the children of serpents, what does that make the rest of us? All right. I want that to sink in before you get out of here tonight. If they were the children of serpents, and of course they have these godlike powers, what does that make the rest of us? Find your reptilian lineage if it's in you, because there's an important lesson here. And this is a sincere, important lesson. This is the metaphysical truth that we've been distracted from. We all are born into this paradox. We all carry the genetic echo of these serpent creators. We all have the potential to be born again, just like the snake, to shed our old skin, to awaken our wisdom, to become the masters of our own reality. This is the promise of our lineage. But we also are born into a system of control. See, the Gnostics was clear. The ruler of this world was a draconic form, a system designed to keep us foolish, to keep us distracted, to keep us as a resource. This is the reality of this. And you've seen going back and forth with people in here tonight. It's designed this way, and it's working. See, the greatest secret isn't that the serpent aliens exist. The secret is that their dual nature, the wise creator and the cold controller, the shining one, and the archons exist inside of each one of us. This is what I'm pointing out to you. It's in everything. The greatness, even the bad, the good, the shadow, the stuff is in here. You gotta go get it. See, when I started this thing as a truth seeker, there was certain areas I wouldn't go until David Icke said, Roderick, no, you can't be a truth seeker and have a no-go area. You can't not want to go there and you call yourself seeking the truth. You got to go everywhere for the truth. That don't mean you walk. You can put yourself in the shoes of these things, but you don't walk in them. So the shining one, the archons, exist inside of us. So the war of the giants, the gods wasn't just a historical event. It was a core conflict of the human psychic. That's why Carl Jung and all of them talks about. The choice is to awaken the bloodline within you. The Kundalini, all of these things. You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm telling you. You have to. And people think they don't control. Yeah, they control. That it's possible that they control what you believe. Yeah. Because if you believe, any person that believes, and that's the easiest part, because as long as a person think like they believe, okay? And if you believe that they don't, there's not a person out here having had some type of manipulation, something on a higher level that they've done. You got to admit that one. They do. But anyway, the choice is to awaken the bloodline within you. That's all I'm saying. Awaken the bloodline. Or you can accept the brand ownership up on you and just think it ain't happening. And that's the choice is yours and yours alone. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's all. It is yours alone. I'm no longer trying to say this. I'm just going to give you enough information you can read, you can hear, you can see to awaken your curiosity to the possibility that this reptilian stuff leads back to the serpent stuff, and the serpent stuff leads back to the gods, and the gods created the version of where we are today. And with that, doing that, they implanted their power and genetics and all of this knowledge, and it's in you. But here's the game changer. We have journeyed into what I call the unknown. We have followed the linguistic trail of the serpent from the dawn of civilization to the very heart of modern power. We've seen his face in the carvings of our ancestors, right? And we've heard his name whispered in the etymology of most sacred institutions. We have faced the central paradox of our existence, that we are a species born of two worlds. If you figure that out, a hybrid race carrying the seed of gods and the brand of their control, both sides. Which one you want to activate? Which one you want to activate? That's all I'm saying. That's all I've been saying tonight. And for those people, you don't want to activate it, you want to go against the grain, you ain't this, they won. They won. Because when you think you know somebody who you know, when you realize the more you know that you don't know, that's when you're evolving. And you think about what you're going to know tomorrow. Think about it. Just do your stuff. Do your stuff. The evidence is overwhelming. Not because of a single artifact. We already know that. Because of a global repeating pattern, a message left for those eyes to see. The ancient Gnostics, the Ophite serpent worshipers, they knew this. They knew the rule of this world was that draconic form. They knew the serpent was the both source of our wisdom and the architect of our prison. The same one. This is why I don't think why people don't get it. So the history of the ancient invasion tells us of a war fought with the fire and cataclysms, right? Y'all remember that? Well, the war was fought today is quieter. It's not like it was yesterday or back. It's a war of perception. That's why you heard what someone said in the chat a while ago. The new war is perception. If they can do that, they're controlling. It's why we have all of this virtual reality in the concepts and in this holographic world. Perception, the rebellion of sight. The serpent's greatest weapon has never been force, but deception. This is why it's called shadows of deception. Plain and simple. I'm just letting you know. And therefore, our greatest weapon is not a sword, but it's clarity. All right. So what happens next? I'm glad you asked. So the evidence that I presented is the patterns that have been revealed. The ancient whispers, I should say, have been amplified. The question is no longer, is this true? The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you fall back to sleep like some people will, dismissing the echoes as myth and patterns of coincidence, or he just want money, or he just want, will you go back and just ignore it? But I will tell you this, though, and I will promise you this. There will be a lot of people's souls meeting their souls again, or some of these people again, or you don't have to. That's what's at stake. They want to keep the souls here. There are some people that's in this chat typing, their souls will repeat again and again and again. And they won't have a better life than the one they got now. I don't care how hard they work at it. It's not designed. They're a part of they're an NPC of it. They're a part of the design. Until they rebel, until they decide to rebel, they would do it. But as long as, and again, remember the whole point, remember the Matrix in Cypher, he said, I shouldn't have took that red pill. Hell, if I didn't know it was going to be like this, I would just stay asleep. And that's cool. Some people love this life the way it is. And you can remain passive observer, a spectator to the history written for you by an unseen hand, or you awaken the bloodline within you. That's the whole point. Will you choose to become an operator, like I have this operator's manual here, or the decoder of your own reality? See the symbols. You need to see it. You need to understand the language. Recognize the serpent shadow moving beyond the thrones of power and the pixels on your screen. The ancient prophecy said that they will return, people. I think they're already here working. The signs are growing daily. We're hearing these things coming and all this stuff. We're preparing ourselves from here. And forget the other people who don't want the information. They don't have to take it. But don't let somebody in this chat say something that you're going to agree with, because you could be in that vibration and not knowing it. You're going to think, no. A lot of these people ain't wrong. Some of these people that I was showing you, they got it and they understand it. But perhaps the great return is not an invasion from the sky that we think he had. We know it. They're already revealing this Atlas thing is in your spine. Perhaps the awakening from within. See, the serpent taught us of rebirth. The shed one skin is to be born again. Now it is your turn to shed your skin. Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to get off of here tonight. I stayed here a little longer than I appealed to do, but I wanted to be as thorough as possible to share. I appreciate some of you who super chat. You know, this is what we do. You know, those of you who I can support that you got knowledge from tonight, even if it starts your curiosity or confirmed your suspicion that you're not crazy, there is something in this world. I appreciate that I was able to do that. I know I got haters. That's fine. Comes with the job. And I guarantee you most of them that's hating on me ain't got nothing to do in life. They have nothing. No one listens to them. They're not changing nobody's lives. They're walking around thinking they just love life by themselves because they don't want you to have community. They don't want you to have nothing. And so you're going to run off people who will love you, who will let you sit here, and I'm sitting here in front of me. You can talk about me. You can say whatever you want to say. I'm sitting here. As long as it ain't the truth, I don't care. You get what I'm saying? I'm here. I ain't hiding nothing. Pretty much ain't hiding nothing. But I will say that it's Tuesday, and I'm going to say this right now. I want y'all to know, if you're watching this tonight, there's hundreds of people in here, and you got it in value, and I need you to put I love y'all in the chat, because those people that have been here that's going back and forth, they need to know they're loved, man. Let them know I love y'all. And I know some of these people did not hear I love you over the weekend. I didn't. I talked to thousands of people, and now I'm on the phone, but some of you are with somebody and they ain't telling you I love you. But just let everybody know I love you. And again, I love y'all too. Thank you, Cash and all. But I want y'all to say I love y'all so that other people read it, know we're talking to them. Because and I guarantee you're gonna feel the energy. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna get goosebumps if a lot of people are putting it in there. I love y'all. You're gonna feel the goosebumps. I'm telling you, you will. Just say, I love y'all. You're going to feel those goosebumps. And that's where it begins, because just starting with those words will begin you to be non-judgmental. You won't judge. You won't do anything. And I'm still working on it. I mean, I get it. I truly get it. And I say this, but I do understand it, life is a special order. So I'm going to leave you with a story, and you can take it where it is. Some of us, so I want you to picture a drive-through. I'm not saying you eat at McDonald's, but just look at McDonald's in the way life is done. This is your metaphor for tonight. Think of McDonald's as a drive-through, and in order for it to be efficient, they need this thing to offer you what they want you to have. So when you drive up to the window, they give you options, right? Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 7. Life is already built. The combo is already made. You're going to get this. You can supersize it, but you ain't getting no more than what they want you to have. You can pay just a little more, supersize it, but you're only going to get more. So I want you to think about McDonald's. Life is like McDonald's, okay? They build this illusion. It's a happy place. Got the clowns running and stuff. The McDonald's clown, right? Ronald. And most people accept life that way. They drive up in the drive-through and they pull up, they let their window down of life. This is metaphor. And they say, what kind of life do I want? And they say that, damn, that number 7 life looks really good. Remember, somebody created that. Oh, number 6 life, shit, I can have a man with $100,000 a year, or a woman that's built like Beyonce. I don't know. But I want that. Now, to those of you who says it's not about money, you're going to pay for it no matter what. You get a number 3, you're going to pay number 3 combo prices. You're going to pay number 4 combo prices. You're going to pay for whatever your life that they're trying to give you. But then there's a few of you who are like me, and I'm like you. You pull up in that same drive-through. And I want you to hear me out when I say this to you, because it's coming out of love. You pull up in that same drive-through that everybody else, they're pushing forward because they got a clock. They got to get everybody through life and come back and reincarnate your ass and come back and come back. So they just got you to choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's already made for you. You don't have no choices. You just get it, and don't mess it up because we're on a time. Just keep going through life the way we give it to you, but I give you 7 choices. But there are some of you who are going to come in life like I have, and you're going to pull up in that drive-through, and you're going to say, I want it with no pickles, no onions, extra cheese, whatever. And the people are going to be like, damn. Some of them are going to go call the manager because you want some shit different. They got to come in and override the computer. They got to override the matrix. They got to override the whole freak. You done messed up the plan. You don't want what life giving you like some of these people in this chat is. And you think there's a problem, but it's not, right? So you messing it up. They got people in the back. The line is getting going, and they got to get you out of the way. But you know what they tell you? Because you pushed hard enough, because you're holding back their plan, because you're learning, you're getting this knowledge, they make you get out of line. They say, I need you to go park over there, Roderick. I need you to go park over there. Y'all following where I'm going with this? Let me know. So they tell me, to go park to the side because they need to keep everybody else dumbasses going. They need to keep them going, but you go get to the side because you want something different. You want an extra cheese. You don't want what we offer you because you know you don't need to take it that way. You're going to give them your money because people don't think you have to, but you're going to give them your money. You need money, people. But you know what happens when you park over there and you wait, like life has had you to wait, and how you've been waiting? When them suckers bring that stuff out to your car, when they bring your dream out to your car, when they bring whatever it was that you wanted out to your car, because you got a special order. You don't want what life is. You don't want what they're giving you. You want because you see there's something different. But when they bring that out to your car, metaphorically, it's going to be exactly the way you want it. You're going to pay for it, yeah. but they're going to give you the sugar honey iced tea you want. And that's the message I was trying to give to this person who's talking about no money, whatever. Make the money to get what you want because they're controlling it. Don't be stupid and talk about, oh, it's not money and think you're going to survive. Your kids are going to hate you. The unborn people is not going to like you because you didn't create something for them. It's crazy, the generational stuff that you're starting with this mindset. All right, so I'll leave that with y'all tonight. I hope that story helped. That's just my story. Let me know if you got anything from that story. I just want to know. I don't want to know if I waste my time. But anyway, I just want you to know life is a special order. Don't be upset that you're waiting. Just keep paying the price and you're going to get what you want. You're going to get what you want. That's all I want you to know. You're going to get what you want. If y'all agree with me, let me know. Just let me know. And then we're going to get out of here tonight. So that's how we're going to. All right. JG said 100. All right. Love you guys. I really do. Like I said, we stayed here pretty long tonight. If you find any value, any support, you can go to the website. You can go to All That Is. And then we can kind of go from there. Right. All right. Appreciate it. King, that is good. And Diana, our godmother of our channel. Thanks. Great to hear from you guys. All right. So then I did my job tonight. Y'all take care.
UFOs.
UAPs.
Unidentified anomalous phenomena.
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs. A Pentagon report is detailing a dramatic increase in UFO sightings, more than 350 since 2021. Many of them are explained as being drones, birds, or weather events, but about half of them remain unexplained.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. Oh my gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude.
This video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019. The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers say the missile, found sometime last week, has been inspected at Roswell, New Mexico, and sent to Wright Field, Ohio, for further inspection. Late this afternoon, a bulletin from New Mexico suggested that the widely publicized mystery of the flying saucers may soon be solved. Army Air Force officers reported that one of the strange discs had been found and inspected sometime last week. Our correspondents in Los Angeles and Chicago have been in contact with Army officials endeavoring to obtain all possible late information. Joe Wilson reports to us now from Chicago. The Army may be getting to the bottom of all this talk about the so-called flying saucers. As a matter of fact, the 509th Atomic Bomb Group headquarters at Roswell, New Mexico, reports that it has received one of the discs which landed on a ranch outside Roswell. The disc landed at a ranch at Corona, New Mexico, and the rancher turned it over to the Air Force. Rancher W.W. Brazil is the man who discovered the saucer.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
More people are coming forward with their own sightings.
Videos recorded by U.S. Navy personnel have added a new layer of evidence to the current national debate about UFOs.
Right at that moment, I saw what looked like 5 lights flying in formation in kind of an inverted check mark.
The NASA independent study team did not find any evidence that UAP have an extraterrestrial origin. We don't know what these UAP are.
The mysterious flying objects are still a mystery. NASA will continue investigating them and has appointed a director of UAP research.
Technology that we faced was far superior than anything that we had.
Oh, man, look at the fly!